Hi, welcome to day one of the nine candles, and I always have Dorothy on day one. Dorothy's an incredibly good personal astrologer who can help us all understand the planets better. And since, especially for this nine candles, since
Yeah,
the what we're getting doing our countdown to is we're getting ready for that emotional rush you can get when you're ready for it, and it's going to be Jupiter and Venus conjuncting in it's Cancer.
it is Cancer. Yes, it's in the
Cancer,
sign of Cancer.
and which is
Yeah,
even better because that's the moon and the heart and the family and
it is.
really important. And Dorothy, I'm so excited. I
I'm
mean,
happy. Yeah, we need the good news. We
we
need the
need some good news. And after all of those planets all piling up on each other this spring,
yeah.
and as Dorothy and I was explaining, Dorothy, the only analogy I have for what we lived through this spring is
All those Aries planets together is
all
what
those
Nancy Jane's
planets all
referring to.
scrunched into Aries
Hmm.
was it's like she's a boomer like I am. And
Very, very end of the
we
boomers.
all
Yeah.
had big cars or station wagons that had your 5 to 6 kids in the back seat of the car. And for those of you who are raised in the generation of one or two kids, you have no idea what that was like. But that was a real war zone, and it was
It
real
was.
stress
It
and
was
pressure.
stressful. Even as a kid, I have five siblings, so six of us. And just like Nancy Jane was saying, it just brought back all these memories. We had this massive station wagon back in the day when there weren't even seatbelts required.
Oh
And
no.
we had it was a seat that was in the very back of the station wagon facing backwards. So you could face
Hmm.
out the back window and the window was down. We could roll that window down because there was no electronic windows. You had to roll it down and then the
Hmm.
exhaust would come back in on you and you'd make fun of the people behind you. And there were five, six of us and two adults in this one car. Oh my God. I have to
It was
say, it
unbelievable. I
was
mean,
tough, but it
and
was life.
my parents finally couldn't stand it anymore. So
Yeah.
when we would drive to Canada, my dad would take me and my mom would take the other four kids because
Hmm.
they would stay overnight in a hotel between my hometown and where we were meeting family in Canada. I
Hmm.
rode with my dad because he drove straight through, and I unfortunately had very bad motion sickness as a child.
Hmm.
I don't remember the trips to Canada because my father was an anesthesiologist and he used
You
to
give you
knock me out.
a little something to calm you
Yeah,
down
he
and
knocked me out,
shut you
laid me
down.
down in the front seat, and I woke up. I was in Canada. I mean, I'm surprised he got me past the border police. Why is that passed out child?
Yeah, that was the 1950s and 60s were pretty relaxed
So
compared to what
you
it's like
had to be,
today.
people may yell at us boomers, but we didn't survive World War II except being the children of veterans of it. But
Hmm.
we survived each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Anyway.
so anyways, the referral was going, we'll go back a little bit, was all that Aries pile up and the whole focus of
Hmm.
what Nancy Jane is doing with this nine candles is it's just something nice to focus on. This actually does happen once a year because Venus
Oh,
does
I
go
know.
around once a year, but we really need it right now. And this is, so it will happen twice that Venus, most of the
Hmm.
time, well, Venus will make a conjunction to Jupiter. It might happen twice. It doesn't always. It varies. Venus has right around 12, a little over 12 months
Hmm.
of a cycle, and Jupiter has 13 months, but sometimes they don't coincide. So it might
Right.
only happen once, Venus, Jupiter. This one's happening twice. It's fantastic. 25 degrees of Cancer. You're going to find out where it is in your own chart and figure out that. But Nancy Jean's going to lead the nine candles first because this connection, these two planets coming together in Cancer
And
is
I
very
know you're an
nice.
astrologer and you can read in an ephemeris and you can kind of see in your head where things are.
Hmm.
What's glorious about this one, and I talk about it on the 9th of June, if we're
Hmm.
not having tornado alley season like we are as we're taping this, you should be able to go out at sunset
Hmm.
and see the two of them together. And that's so magical when you go out. I remember seeing Jupiter and Saturn conjunct
Yeah.
when they did that in January, the first degree of Aquarius in January 3 or 4 years ago. It was
20,
during
it was in
COVID.
2020. Yeah.
Hmm. And you go out and you look up and you go, oh my God, somewhere someone long ago figured out
Hmm.
this only happens and once every 20 years, was it there's a whole
Yeah.
cycle to
There's
Jupiter's.
cycles to all of the planets as they come together in conjunctions.
And you
Yeah.
can really see it on the ground because I remember it was a cold night. I
Yeah.
walked out there. I live by a golf course, so I get to see all these things come together. I walked out to the
Nice.
golf course, looked over it, saw them conjunct, and said, I remember when I was in college, which was in the late 60s, early 70s, and I took a open university course in astrology just for the hell of it.
Hmm.
And the guy who was leading it said he explained that conjunction in one of the things, and he said, I won't live to see this, but you guys are like 18 and 19 years old. You may live to see the
Hmm.
conjunction where we change from being earthbound to being airbound. And
Yeah.
Dorothy and
Yep.
I will do a show on that for those of you who are curious. But
Yeah. Yeah. Just
we
let us know
be
below.
yeah, and so it's so much fun when you can go out. So
Hmm.
hoping I'm going to gear you up, give you the grounding, give you the hope and the energy so that you
Hmm.
go out and you can really accept the energy from these planets.
Right. And as once we I know when we're recording this, the moon is currently in between Venus and Jupiter on the day that we recorded
Oh,
this.
this is lovely.
And it was beautiful the last couple of nights. We had the moon Venus conjunct,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had the moon between, because you can actually see Venus and Jupiter in the western sky at night.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as you start seeing this on 31st of May, is that correct when this one will air?
We're going to start, no, we're going to be June 1. We're
June
day
1.
one.
Even on June 1st, you go out and just in the western sky, you will see Venus is the brightest thing in the night sky aside from the moon when the moon is out. And so it's not hard to see, but you have to do it at near sunset, just
Yeah,
at sunset, within
that's
those
what they
first
said.
hour or two of sunset.
Mm-hmm.
Venus is very high in the western sky, western north, it's northwest. And you'll see Jupiter just at an angle. If Venus is here, Jupiter is just angular, but you can see the whole lineup and it's just
Mm-hmm.
was fabulous. And the practicality of it is like in the middle of May, the last 10 days of May, you could see it too. You know, I talk about it on my other channels. You guys have already
Mm-hmm.
probably heard about it, but you can actually see those lineups, not the fake crap you get on all the social medias, but this is the real astronomical lineup, and it's
And this
beautiful.
And it's a chance to people say, "Oh, I don't understand aspects. I don't." No, you can see two planets coming together that are
Yep.
really basically. I know some people say Jupiter's just a big bag of gas, but it really does have
Well,
volume.
there's a lot of gas there, but it does represent all of the planets, just like any spiritual belief. But astrology is empirical, so even though some people don't think it's scientific and there's proof, but whenever we have history and history's written down and we follow through and we see like this happened here and this is you'll find the mundane astrologers. That means the
Mm-hmm.
astrologers that talk about the world and the
Mm-hmm.
globe and nations. They're very right on track. It's like this is when these planets were doing this, 1,000 years ago, 200 years ago, or whatever the case may be. This
Mm-hmm.
is what's happening, and we see it happening again and again and again and again. So astrology is empirical. You don't have to read aspects. All you have to do is just listen to the words that aren't the aspects. While we're saying Venus, Jupiter are conjunct, so what? What does that mean? We're going to tell
Their
you what it
energy is
means.
combined.
That's
It's like
right.
when you get together with a really good friend
Hmm.
and you have a
Right.
lovely meeting. So we're going to have our own lovely meeting. We're going to
And we're
go.
going to go, yes,
Ta-da, we're going to
let's do.
premiere the candles right now.
And the gorgeous rose quartz. And we were talking
This
about
is
this. Here we go.
gorgeous. Yeah, Dorothy, I thought I had the biggest chunk of rose quartz known to man, and then Dorothy pulls hers out. But
I can't grab this with one hand. It's too heavy.
I know
It's
rose
beautiful though.
quartz means we are opening my heart to love, healing,
Mm,
compassion, and peace. And that's what I'm dedicating these 9 candles to. I'm going to read the meditation.
mm.
Dorothy, I've done this before, and people go, you didn't tell me I was going to have to sit there while you read all that. But
Yeah, we're going to go right into this meditation. Everybody go right into this meditation.
okay,
It's a
right
lovely
in.
meditation.
We're
Close
lighting,
your eyes.
we're lighting the first candle. And as you know, we light candles because the energy of the light goes up. And even when you blow the candle out, the prayer continues in the
Mhm.
smoke trail going up. As Jupiter and Venus meet in the sky on June 9th. We are invited into the moment of expansion, beauty, and hope, a heart centered possibility. Jupiter brings growth, wisdom, abundance, and vision. Venus brings love, harmony, creativity, pleasure, and connection. Together, they create a powerful, energetic doorway for our own gratitude, attraction, joy, and healing. Imagine standing beneath the twilight sky on the 9th of June, filled with soft golden and rose colored light. Above you, Jupiter and Venus shine brightly together, two celestial lights weaving their energies into one radiant stream. Jupiter whispers to you, expand beyond fear, dream larger, trust the path opening before you. Venus whispers, open your heart, receive beauty, allow love and kindness to flow freely. See their combined light gently pouring down upon you like warm liquid starlight. It fills your heart first, softening the old worries, dissolving the heaviness, awakening hope. Let this light move through your body into your mind for clarity, into your spirit for faith, into your hands for creation, and into your future for possibility. And then ask yourself, what am I ready to welcome with joy? Where am I going to be called to trust with my abundance? And how can I create more beauty and harmony in my life? Sit for a moment with whatever arises. Now imagine placing one intention into the hands of the universe, something you wish to grow with grace, wisdom, and love. See Jupiter magnifying it with opportunity and Venus surrounding it with compassion and balance. At that point, you say, I open my heart for divine timing. I welcome growth by guided love. I trust the beauty unfolding in my life. I feel the energy of Jupiter and Venus glowing within myself in expansive, gentle, and full possibilities. This is where we bring our light to our lighted candles. When you're ready, slowly return and hold on to that light. And with that, we're going to go to Miss Dorothy.
I
Yay!
know that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And everybody should absolutely come in every week, every day for the nine
9 days
candles.
or
Yeah.
whatever days you can make. And if you show up on day 4, you got 1, 2, and 3 to catch up with us. So,
Yeah, yeah. And the astrological focus of what this can represent. So what you said in that meditation, perfect.
mm-hmm,
Right on. That's what we want to hone in on. No matter what's going on in the world around us, there's always something difficult to focus on. But we also have choices of how to focus in on things that feel a little softer,
mm-hmm,
things that feel a little that help us tap a little more into our emotions. And this is where we're at right now. This it's kind of yin-like. Well, it is yin-like because Cancer, the zodiac sign of Cancer is water. It's the yin. So it's a containing our feelings and our emotions. And Venus in Cancer feels that, and it has us focusing on what we value. Once a year for 3 weeks, she's in
mm-hmm,
that sign. So what is it that we focus on? And it's asking us to slow things down, to just since it's with Jupiter right now, and this is the whole focus of today's thing. It's like it's asking us not to be so highly emotional that we engage fire like energy, like the Aries energy we were mentioning
mm-hmm,
earlier. It's asking us to be more sensitive to who we are and how we're feeling right now, and just really stay honed in on that on June. Actually, we can feel it the whole time that from the time we start this on June 1st all the way through the 9th. The 9th is the apex of it, but it creates more sensitivity for all of us. And what does that mean for you? Because I could hear some people saying, "Oh my God, I don't want to feel anymore." Well, this can bring some things to a head, old feelings and old emotions. So, in one way, because it's the Venus Jupiter comes together once a year. So it's now the end of a year between the Venus Jupiter conjunction and now the beginning. So it's like
mm-hmm,
a new moon, if you will, just as a metaphor. And so we have an opportunity here as we're moving closer to June 9th to, if there are old feelings and old emotions that are coming and bubbling to the surface that you are just done with, do some ritual for yourself to release that, to be aware of it, to write it out, to do whatever your rituals are for your own emotional healing and cleansing. And I want you to do that.
No,
So
I
then,
agree. You know,
yeah.
there's that thing about if people have wronged you, write in a letter everything they
Hmm.
did wrong to you, then you take those letters and you burn them.
Yeah.
And I saw the best cartoon where the woman said, well, I wrote out all the letters and I wrote out
Yeah.
how they wronged me, and then I burned them. Now what do
Yeah.
I do with the letters?
You burned them. That's all you do.
Yeah.
Wash them down the drain as
Yeah, and
ash.
do it over a toilet so you can just flush it away so we don't
Yeah.
hear the fire department
Yeah.
coming.
And so old emotions, whether it's a family, it can be family stuff because cancer is also the family, but it's also our feelings. But, um, again, anything that you think about old feelings, like you were bringing up, well, that's a coincidence, bringing up how in the old days we used to all ride in the back of a car like that.
Hmm.
But anyways, but any of those old emotions that can come up, you're reconnecting with old memories, old feelings. Some of them are painful, some of them are not. And it's just bringing all of this to the front of your awareness because it's like you can ask yourself, am I running on autopilot because of all of these things? Am I responding to things? Reacting is the better word. Am I reacting to things because of old emotional patterns? And the chances are you can say yes. And this is an opportunity for all of us to identify what that is. It could be just one thing, it doesn't have to be a million things. Make it easy on yourself. You don't have to handle every issue you've had your whole life. That could take a long time.
Let's
Just
do all
whatever
our
is at the front of the line right now, right?
right. Let's do
Yeah.
all our shadow work and I'm going to get all well tomorrow. No, you're not. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
it took time for those wounds to form and it takes time
Hmm.
for the wounds to heal. That's
And
what I
this is,
keep telling
yeah.
people. They're like, why can't I get better? Because it takes
It
time.
takes time. And sometimes, I mean, the scarring is always going to be there. So you're always going to be able to remember it, just like a scar on your body from an injury of some kind. But this is a very healing transit. And
It is.
so it's incredibly healing transit. And again, it just helps us to, really feel, release some of those things, like we were just saying, that need to go. Some of the things that create autopilot, that autopilot's fine, but sometimes it's not. So it's going to be your job to figure this out. I'm not going to shout at you and make you do anything. I'm not one of those
Hmm.
astrologers that's all hyperbolic about stuff. But this is show up for yourself, show up
Hmm.
for whatever that autopilot looks like and might be causing trouble, and even honoring the autopilot that you have if that's working too, if that's working for you. But you have an opportunity. It just depends on what you're doing. And then the physical things that you can do is just things that are caring and nurturing for you. I like to cook. I've been sick for the last couple of weeks, just nasty respiratory BS. And I haven't been able to even stand to cook. I just was just not into it. I didn't have an appetite anyways. But to me, now that I'm feeling better, the way I can show up for myself right now is just cook and do because it's just me. I like to cook. I like to pot around the kitchen. I like to do things those are nurturing things to
Hmm.
me. A friend sent me a box of, oh gosh, I can't remember what it's called. Um, it's a kit. It's chicken soup and a big
Oh yeah,
ladle.
yeah,
And
that's the comfort box.
yes, yes, it was so sweet. I was like, oh my God, I got a new blankie. Anyways, the reason I'm sharing that is because those are things that are nurturing to
Hmm.
me at the moment that I needed it, right?
Hmm.
And so while we're getting to this Venus-Jupiter conjunction, it's asking you, whatever's going on in your current life circumstances, it's just asking you to nurture yourself, take care of yourself, do what you can. And if you need to do that for others, then that's what is going on in your life. But only you know what's going on in your life. There's so many of us out
And
there.
it's
Yeah.
do I choose to be there or do I choose to
To
let
be
let
overwhelmed
be
and
overwhelmed or do I choose
right.
to let it go? I have a friend who, well, Jeffrey, he went to
Yeah.
New York
Hmm.
because the old apartment he lived in that he got burnt out of. You talk
Hmm.
about having your life change in 2 minutes.
Yeah. I
The
have a
last
family
time
member
he
that lost everything in a fire. It was
Yeah.
devastating.
It's and so he went back because he had to sign the lease or decide what he was going to do. He'd lived there for over 30 years, so he's considered a stakeholder in the unit. So I flew back to New York, went and saw the unit, and he kept talking about it like, well, I'm going to walk in and walk through it. And I'm like, but it's not where you live, Jeffrey.
Hmm.
Everything's been torn out. The building was built in 1910, and the entire apartment was smoked out or burnt out. And anyway, he had to walk back in and look at that point of his life.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't think I was really ready for it, but once I got there and looked at it, anyway,
Hmm.
he's happily flying. He happily flew back to Mexico City, and Mexico City's now his home. He had, he said, I walk down the streets here, and if you ever listen to Jeffrey, he's a New Yorker. He'll never not be a New Yorker.
Yeah.
But that's not home anymore.
Things changed. Yeah.
And we're all, I kind of think, Jeffrey's sort of the epitome of where all of us are. What we thought was going to be the paradigm of forever.
Hmm.
Because trust me, when you're looking at forever and you're 30, and then you're looking at forever and you're 77, two different kind of forevers.
So different. It's so different. It is. But it takes one day at a time to get from point A to point B. So
Yeah,
it's
and
not
it's just
sudden, but yeah, it
do
changes.
do what you can do today, and by
Yeah.
showing up here today and joining us in this joyous ceremony, the rose quartz at the very center. And do you have anything else you need to say, Dorothy?
No, I think it's just in a nutshell, it's just make sure you give yourself enough space to
Hmm.
care for and nurture yourself, as well as being open to allowing others to help you and to do that to you too. I'll leave
Right.
us with that.
Okay. So we're going to go back, and I'm going to do this because I thought I explained this the first time I did 9 candles. You have to blow them out each day, and then tomorrow we'll light two, then we'll light three, then we'll light four.
Hmm.
But I had a woman who said, "Oh, my candles burnt out on the first night." Oh,
Hmm. They only
because
last so long.
yeah, these are not forever candles. Um, the energy around rose quartz. This is a rose quartz affirmation. I open my heart to love, healing, compassion, and peace. And that's what we're doing when we pull this light out. Now see the smoke? The smoke goes up to heaven
Hmm.
for a while and takes that prayer with us. And with
Yep.
that, I want to say goodbye to my good friend Dorothy,
Thank you.
who
Thank you for always
is,
having me.
and thank you for coming for day one. Everyone else be here. They're going to be set up as premieres. They'll be on at 7 Central Time, 7 in the evening, because I ain't getting up to do a premiere at 7 in the morning. I don't do those. Um, and I thank you, Dorothy, for being here. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for coming. I look forward to seeing you on the next 8 days. And what happens is we light more light around the quartz, more energy
Mhm.
goes up, and we have more strength. Thank you
Terrific.
all for being here. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.